Tensions high this morning between the U.S. and China after another close call involving both militaries. This video showing the moments a Chinese warship, seen here on the left, came within 150 yards of an American destroyer in the Taiwan Strait. Shot by a Canadian news outlet traveling aboard a nearby vessel during a rare joint Canada-U.S. mission in the region. U.S. officials said overnight the Chinese ship executed maneuvers in an unsafe manner, and its actions violated the maritime rules of the road. The incident comes just days after a Chinese fighter jet flew directly in front of a U.S. Air Force aircraft in what the Pentagon called an unnecessarily aggressive maneuver. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, while traveling in Singapore Friday, said the U.S. will not be deterred by China's unprofessional behavior at sea or in the air.
We do not seek conflict or confrontation, but we will not flinch in the face of bullying or coercion.
The U.S.-China relationship has been strained following the Chinese spy balloon that flew across much of the country earlier this year, with Secretary Austin speaking out after briefly greeting his Chinese counterpart, their first face-to-face as the U.S. seeks to reestablish high-level talks.
Dialogue is not a reward. It is a necessity. And a cordial handshake over dinner is no substitute for a substantive engagement.
CIA Director Bill Burns made a secret trip to Beijing in May, his first visit to China since taking on the role, to emphasize the importance of maintaining open lines of communication and intelligence channels between the two countries, which President Biden predicted at the G7 last month will happen soon, despite the spy balloon fallout.
I think you're going to see that begin to thaw very shortly.
Now, for its part, China called the U.S.-Canadian joint sailing a deliberate provocation in the first place, arguing its forces monitored the ships and handled the situation in accordance with the law and regulations. Willie?
So as he deals with that tension there, Monica, on the domestic front, President Biden on Saturday signed the bill lifting the nation's debt ceiling after it cleared Congress this week, but just under the wire.
Right. With just hours to spare, President Biden signed that debt limit deal into law Saturday, following his first ever Oval Office address, where he praised Republicans and Democrats for working together to avert economic disaster. But the president also vowed to pursue his priorities that were left out of this bill, like taxes on the wealthiest Americans, which is a clear 2024 campaign message. Still, throughout the process, the president repeatedly commended Speaker McCarthy for his honesty and professionalism, celebrating the bipartisan spirit, though we may be in for a similar standoff in the fall when government funding needs to be finalized, despite some of the agreements made on spending cuts during these negotiations. The reality of divided government heading into what will likely be a bruising election season. Willie?
Monica Alba at the White House. Monica, thanks as always.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.